Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're rediving deep into one of the most common check engine-like codes you might encounter. P0171, which stands for System to Lean, Bank 1. It sounds complicated, but don't worry. We're going to break it down so you know exactly what is happening with your car and how to approach fixing it. So, what does System to Lean actually mean? Think of your engine like a chef trying to get the perfect recipe. It needs a precise mixture of air and fuel to run efficiently. The ideal ratio is about 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel. When your car's computer, the ECU, throws a P0171 code, it's telling you that on bank 1 of your engine, there's too much air and not enough fuel in that mix. Why is this a problem? A lean condition can lead to all sorts of issues. You might notice your engine hesitating or stumbling during acceleration. Your fuel economy could take a nosedive because the engine isn't running efficiently. In some cases, you might experience a rough idle, where the car feels like it's shaking or about to stall when you're stopped. Over time, running lean can even cause more serious damage to your engine components, like your spark plugs and catalytic converter, because it raises combustion temperatures. Now, let's talk about what causes this lean condition. The number one culprit is often a vacuum leak. Your engine is a sealed system, and any unmetered air that gets in after the mass airflow sensor will throw off that perfect air-fuel ratio. This could be from a cracked or disconnected vacuum hose, a bad intake manifold gasket, or even a faulty PCV valve. These hoses are often made of rubber or plastic, and over time heat and age can make them brittle and prone to cracking. Another very common cause is a dirty or failing mass airflow sensor, or MOF sensor. This sensor is responsible for measuring the amount of air entering the engine. If it's dirty, it can't measure the air correctly and will report less air than is actually coming in. The ECU then injects less fuel based on this bad information, leading to a lean mixture. Sometimes, a simple cleaning with a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner can solve the problem. What else could it be? A weak fuel pump or a clogged fuel filter can also be to blame. If the fuel system can't deliver enough fuel to the injectors, you'll naturally end up with a lean condition. Similarly, dirty or clogged fuel injectors might not be spraying enough fuel into the cylinders. Your oxygen sensors, particularly the upstream one before the catalytic converter, play a crucial role here too. They measure the amount of oxygen in the exhaust and tell the ECU how to adjust the fuel trim. If the O2 sensor is old and sluggish, it might be sending incorrect data, tricking the computer into thinking the system is lean when it isn't, or failing to correct a lean condition. So, how do you diagnose a P0171? A good starting point is a visual inspection. Pop the hood and look for any obvious signs of trouble. Are there any disconnected hoses? Can you see any cracks in the plastic or rubber intake components? Sometimes you can even hear a hissing sound from a vacuum leak while the engine is running. A simple trick to find a vacuum leak is the smoke test. A mechanic can pump smoke into the intake system, and wherever the smoke comes out, that's your leak. If you don't have a smoke machine, you can carefully spray a little bit of carb cleaner around suspected leak areas while the engine is idling. If the engine RPM changes, you've likely found your leak. Just be very careful doing this, as carb cleaner is flammable. If you suspect the MOF sensor, you can try cleaning it. It's usually a simple job that only requires a screwdriver and a can of MOF sensor cleaner. Never use brake cleaner or carb cleaner on a MOF sensor, as they can damage the delicate sensor wires. If those steps don't solve it, you'll want to check your fuel pressure to rule out a bad fuel pump or filter. You can also use a scan tool with live data to look at your short-term and long-term fuel trims. If the numbers are high, like over 10 or 15%, it confirms the ECU is adding a lot of extra fuel to compensate for the lean condition. Fixing a P0171 can be as simple as reconnecting a hose or cleaning a sensor, but it can sometimes require more in-depth diagnosis. The key is to be systematic and not just start replacing parts. Start with the easiest and most common causes first. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this video helps you understand and tackle that pesky P0171 code. If you found this helpful, give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more car repair tips and tricks. See you in the next one.